Welcome to another interesting tutorial, dear so creatives. So in today's tutorial we are going to be making this beautiful not twisted dress, not twisted top, right? So we'll be making this beautiful not twisted top, and I'll be using this fabric. This is a spandex fabric. It stretches two ways. Okay, it's very stretchy. Can you see? It stretches two ways, and I have 2.5 yards for it to make this style, right? If you are on the big side, you can even go with 3 yards. So without much talk, let's start the cutting process. We'll first of all cut out the back, and then we'll use the back to cut out the front. So to fold your fabric and start cutting out the back, you put into consideration the length of your sleeve and the width of your shoulder. The width of my shoulder is 14 inches, so 14 divided by 2 gives me 7. Now you add that 7 to the length of your sleeve. The length of the sleeve I want is 9 inches. 9 plus 7 gives me 16. So after considering the length of your sleeve and the width of your shoulder, for me I've gotten 16 inches, so I'll ensure that this width is up to 16 plus 1 inch for allowance. So this is 17 inches. I'll mark 17 here. I'm using my marker so that you can see clearly what I'm marking. My chalk was not visible. So now I'll come down and mark my neck depth. My neck depth is 1 inch. I've marked the 1 inch neck depth, and then the neck width is 3 inches. I've also marked. Now I will connect. Now, on that point I marked 17 inches. I'll go down by 1 inch to slant my shoulder. Okay, and now I'll link it to the neckline. So I've linked nicely. The next thing I want to do, I want to impute my sleeve width measurement. For my sleeve width, I'll be using 7 inches. Okay, that is 14 inches. 14 inches divided by 2 gives me 7. So I'm simply marking 7 inches here. Then I'll add allowance of 1 inch, so that I'll use half an inch to sew here and half an inch to sew here. So I'm marking 8 here. So from here to here is my sleeve opening. Okay. So the next thing I want to do, I want to bring in my hip circumference measurement here. Now my hip circumference is 42. 42 divided by 4 gives me 10.5. Now I'll add 1 inch for ease and 1 inch for sewing allowance. 1 inch for ease and half an inch for sewing allowance. That's 12 inches. So on this point, okay, mind you, I want to mark the point from here. So from here to here is 9.5. Here to here, 9.5. So on this point, I'm marking 12 inches. So from this point, I will now take it straight down to meet with my hemline. So for this dress, for this top I'm making, it's a long top, so the length is 30 inches. It's not the normal 24 inches length top. It's 30 inches. So I'm here marking 30 inches. I will mark 31. So I will have allowance. So okay. So after marking that 31 inches point, I will go straight down. Okay, for you to be straight, you will also take down these 12 inches like this, so you can easily connect it. You can at this point use your free hand or your straight ruler. Okay, I hope you can see what I have linked there. The marker is also drying up. Cut out this armhole area like this. Okay, we won't leave it sharp. we'll curve it out, blend it out like this. Okay, so after blending out, I will now cut out. So here I decided to bring it down to my floor so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. So for the front, I have placed the back on top of this fabric, and as you can see, there is much allowance at the center area. Okay, so this is what you should be having in your center front. But for the side front, you cut it out exactly the way the side back is. Okay, so this is me cutting out the side front. It has to be exactly the same with the side back. Okay, I've done that. Even on the shoulder area, I've cut it out. Now the adjustment is going to be on the center front and on the neckline for the front, right? So to get your neckline for the front, you first of all determine the neck depth that you want to see. For me, the neck depth I want to see is 6 inches, okay? 6 inches neck depth is okay for me. So I will be marking 6 inches down from the shoulder area. 6 inches. I've marked 6 inches here, as you can see. So I'll connect this 6 inches to the shoulder, okay? Like this, in a V format. You can use your ruler to get this accurately. So now I have linked. After linking, the next thing I want to do, I want to cut out the fabric I'll be using for the knots. That's the essence of this excess allowance, right? So to get that, on this part, we are assuming this is our shoulder line, right? So from the shoulder line, you measure your half length down where the knot is, the part that you see the knot placed. So that is, for me, my half length is 16 inches. So I'm measuring 16 inches here, and I have marked. Now you link this 16 inches to this neck depth of 6 inches, right? Can you see? So I have linked it, and I will cut out. This is exactly what I will cut out now. So in essence, our front and back are the same, except for the allowance given to create the knot. Okay? So I've cut it out to this point, and then I will continue cutting into my neckline. So here we are done also cutting out the front. We will now open up this part. Our front is also complete now. Before we go further, kindly note that this excess allowance here is times 2 of your half length measurement. For me, my half length is 16. 16 times 2 gives 32. Now, I made the allowance to be 30 because the fabric is very stretchy, right? So at this point, we'll go over to the machine and start sewing. To sew, we will sew the sides together. Let me open it up so that you know exactly what is about to happen now. This part is my wrong side. I want this part to be the right side of this fabric, right? So we'll place it right side facing each other. Take a look at the front. So right side facing each other. and wrong side facing outside. So I'll go over to my machine and stitch the shoulders and the sides. Finish up the hem line of the sleeves and the hem line of the dress, then come back and do our knot twist, right? They're so creatives, welcome back. As you can see, we are done finishing the hem of the sleeve and the hem of the dress. It's now time for us to do our knot twist. Can you see? So this is the front, and is the front we want to twist. Now look at the back neckline. If you watch well, you will notice that I have notched the center of the back neckline. It's very important. Now to twist it, okay, the first thing you want to do, you bring the right part this way to the wrong side, and then the left part this way to the right side. Okay, let's take that again. You first bring the right to the left, and then the left to the right. Okay, so after bringing it this way, right now they are both on their right sides facing outside, right? Okay, can you see what we just did? I hope you can see clearly. So the next thing we want to do, we want to pick them for the right sides to face each other, right? Like this. Can you see? Then I'll go over to my machine and run a stitch here. Now I'm done stitching. Can you see? Okay, so the next thing we want to do, I'll fold it over like this. Can you see? So I have folded. After folding it over this way, can you see? This is the main point. You now twist it like this. So that's quite simple. After stitching it like this, you fold it over like this. Okay, mind you, for you to get it right, this is the hem line because I folded the hem line, right? So when you fold it like this, the hem line will be facing you. Okay, you have folded it. Now the next thing you want to do, after arranging what you have folded, you now twist it like this. You twist it to ensure that the hem line is no longer facing you, right? Okay. Can you see? So this part that is not folded is the part that is facing you now. So at this point, you now take it to your neckline. So on your neckline, you will align this line, this seam line, to the notched part of your neckline, like this. Can you see? So you align it like this, and you fold, you pin down. Okay, you want to sew from the inside now. So this part has been notched. This is your back neckline. You simply pin down. So now after pinning it together here, okay, you now sew round like this. Can you see the neckline? You sew to the neckline and then down to where the wrap started from. That is, you sew to the waistline area. Okay, this is on one side. You also do the same thing, holding the three fabrics together, the main fabric, which is the neckline, then the folded fabric, which has been folded into two, right? So you sew the three together also on this side till you get to the waistline area. So you can as well pin all around. Can you see? I have pinned on the mid neckline. You can as well pin all through till you get to this waistline area where the knot started from. Okay, before you go ahead and sew. But for me, I'll just go ahead and sew the way it is like this. And now after sewing it together here, can you see? I'm done stitching together. Here is our result. Then also, I want you to note that while you are sewing this, okay, where you have to stop, you are the one to determine that, and you have to stop around the area where you started the knotting. That is on the waistline area. So that means as you are sewing from this part down, you measure from your shoulder tip, you measure 16 inches, which in my case is my waistline, is my front half length. So I measured 16 inches from the shoulder down. So while stitching on this side, I stopped at the 16 inches. And then while stitching on this side too, I stopped at 16 inches here. Can you see? So now this part now forms the knot. So that is it. It's very easy, and our dress is ready. For this inside, all you have to do is just to interlock. Just weave it to finish it up. You can also use bias, any method of finishing. Just make sure you finish it up nicely. However, our knot twisted top is ready. Can you see? So this is it. Let our mannequin wear first so you see the fitting on the mannequin. And now here is the front view on the mannequin. It's so beautiful. And then here is the side view. It's beautiful. If you have enjoyed watching this video or you've learned anything, please subscribe to the channel so you can watch more beautiful videos like this.